So I actually have one of those stories about kind of being kicked down a little bit and having to pull myself back up. My first job was my dream job at the Houston Chronicle. And it was around 2008 when Twitter and social media was kind of booming and the newspaper industry declined by about 50%. So my job was eliminated. I was laid off. And I kind of had no choice but to start looking for some options. And I knew that it was a good opportunity for me to explore something entrepreneurial and we birthed Medley. And I knew that I wanted to focus on digital marketing because clearly it was changing the way that we do our work. But then I also had some PR experience as an intern and other campaign work, and so that's how Medley was born. So my dream job was Medley, honestly. And so my dream job, I always wanted to be a multimedia professional. And so in school, I took, broadcast classes, print classes. I took speech classes, some business classes. And so I knew I wanted to fuse all of those worlds to create a sustainable future, one world where no 2 days would ever be the same. Every day is full of creativity and a little bit of magic. And that's how I shaped Medley because I knew it may be hard to find that perfect job. The most important thing to know is that we are, what sets us apart is that we specialize in traditional media, helping our clients stay present on through broadcast media, print, radio, but also managing a digital profile. And so I think that's what's exciting about our firm is that we're like a digital front store for our clients. And so pretty much anything under the marketing umbrella we can handle. And I mentioned this earlier that we focus on really telling stories with cultural competence because it's not always about breaking a language barrier. It's about really being curious about the cultural norms of a community and respecting that community. We have been intentional about working with nonprofit organizations. In fact, one of our clients is about 2 blocks over, Career and Recovery Resources. So we work with nonprofits who do life-changing work every day, and in some cases, life-saving work, like the Rose, the Breast Health Organization. They're literally providing free mammograms for women in need. And so to know that we had a small part in our clients who actually do go out and change the world makes me feel excited and energized every single day. Black Wall Street for sure. My great aunt Rowanna McClure was one of the last living survivors of the Tulsa Race Massacre, and so she passed away probably about a decade ago. And I'm honored to be from the city of Tulsa and to try to do my best to carry the torch. Certainly TSU. I wanted to go to an HBCU. I did not know how exciting it'd be, but when I visited TSU, I saw these students in the pharmacy school in their lab coats. And being from Tulsa, Oklahoma, you just don't see that all the time because it is so highly segregated. And so I felt at home. A love letter to Rick Wilde. It is centered on Afrofuturism, sci-fi. It's a black nerd book, and it's a love story. Playlist right now, I'm listening to Beyonce. you know, birthday yesterday. My daughter's really into Beyonce, so we've been at a Beyonce house lately. I'm a Spike Lee girl, so I love Crooklyn. I love anything Whoopi Goldberg's in. So Sister Act 2, I know, start to finish, word for word. And so I feel like I'm very much a 90s classic film type of girly. Probably Shirley Chisholm. If you don't have a seat at the table, bring your own seat. And so I feel very bold when I move into rooms. I go after pretty much anything, even if it feels like it's bigger than what I am able to do, anything I've ever done before. And so I really live by the idea of like, make room for yourself. So about 2 years ago, I got a call that the Obama Foundation was expanding their work in Tulsa. Tulsa is one of their MBK model communities, which means they essentially have a proven track record of doing outstanding work tied to the Obama Foundation priorities. MBK being My Brother's Keeper. So My Brother's Keeper is an initiative led by the Obama Foundation to really ensure that boys and young men of color across the country have the tools they need to succeed from cradle to career. When they were expanding their work in Tulsa, someone recommended me, a girl from Tulsa who can do this work with cultural competence. So I've had the pleasure of working with MBK Tulsa for the past 2 years nearly, and it's been incredibly rewarding and full circle being able to do this impactful work in my hometown that's directly tied to improving outcomes for boys and young men of color. So when I'm off the clock, I am working more diligently on finding things to do, so I'm not constantly checking my phone. So recently I started knitting again. This is something that my journalism teacher taught me actually in high school. So it feels very full circle. This is 20 something years ago. I used to be on the newspaper, and my teacher, when we had downtime, we just sit there and she'd teach me how to knit. So I actually learned this 20 some years ago, and it's a great way to be present, to feel productive about something that I'm doing that's not work related. I don't post about it much on social media. It's really something for me. And so that's the main thing. I like to read a good fiction novel. and I like to go out to the park. Lately, my daughter's been telling me, take your shoes off, put your feet in the grass. And that's been really good for me to remind myself to not take myself too seriously.